Hey, what's up? Ian here, and today I'd like to talk about this CCA Duo. It is a dual dynamic driver IEM, and the retail price for this is just $30 at the time of filming this video. On KZ's website, it's listed as $40, but if you buy it now, at the time of filming this video, it's $30. So if I were you, I will quickly go grab one. Well, who would know when the price is going to go back up? Okay, so if you guys are interested, do check out the unaffiliated link in the description below. Right, so in this video, I'm not gonna waste your time to go through the accessories and all that. I'm just gonna jump straight into my sound impression of this, the sound performance of this, and also I'll compare it with the Truth Ear Red, which I have right here. So stay tuned for that segment. Alright, so let's start with my review. First, let's go through the specifications. The frequency range is 20 to 40,000 Hertz. Impedance is 18 ohms, and the sensitivity is 106. And as I mentioned, there are two drivers in here. Let me just zoom in and show you the drivers. There you go. These are the two drivers inside, and as you can see, they are side by side. Okay, so two drivers inside this, and overall build quality of this is pretty good. I mean, it's the same as some of the CCA IEMs that I reviewed so far. The faceplate is unique. It's got some sort of like a wave and pattern in front on the faceplate, and the inner shell is 3D printed. Now 3D printing of resin is not cheap, right? The process of it is not cheap. So yeah, it's pretty good quality. As you can see, it's not like molded from a metal mold or something like that. It's actually 3D printed, so I can feel the quality of it. Okay, now in terms of fit and comfort, these fit my ears very well. No problems there, no complaints, and I can wear this the entire day. The nozzles, okay, the nozzle's a little bit short. The nozzle, that's all. But other than that, it's a pretty good fit. Okay, now in terms of seal, I don't use their ear tips. I use my own Final E ear tips, and with this ear tips, gives me a very good seal. Okay, alright, so let's now jump into sound performance of this. First, let's talk about drivability. These are pretty easy to drive. Okay, I've been listening to these at about 50% volume, and I used it with my iPhone, iPad, my dongles, my DABs, and my MacBook. So no problems driving these, right, at about 50% volume, like that comfortable level. Now, in terms of gear matching, these surprisingly work quite well with my M15S, okay, and also with my Questyle M15, right? They sound pretty good. Actually, this is quite a balanced tuning, and it's warm. It's a little bit warm now, okay, and the note weight is balanced as well. So these two work quite well with them. Now, as I mentioned in my previous video, you can pair it out with warm sauce. It's just that the sauce may make it, sound a little bit rounded. Okay, or if you match it with something too bright and too sharp, you make it sound a bit too dry. Okay, so these are the gear that I would recommend, which is something more balanced. All right, so that's for gear matching. Now let's talk about the tone and timbre for this. So this, surprisingly, is balanced sounding. Is quite a warm, casual sound. Yeah, it's warm, it's casual. It's not really fun, but and it's quite close to neutral, but it's not. It's quite natural sounding as well, and the note weight is not too heavy, not too light, and there's some color to it. It's quite textured to the tone. So yeah, a pretty balanced tone. Okay, now in terms of technical performance, these are actually, well, they are pretty good, right, for the price. For $30, the resolution on this is above its price point, right? Definitely, but of course it's not as resolute as some of my other IEMs which I reviewed, and the price is also a bit more expensive. So I mean, for $30, it's definitely more resolute than it's asking for, like in terms of $30. Okay, so it's very resolute for that price point. The soundstage is wide. It's okay. It's maybe a size of a living room. All right, it's quite wide, but it's not the widest lah. Okay, good sound separation as well. Good layers, and in terms of imaging, is also very good. Okay, so average, I would say, yeah, average for the sound imaging and the sound separation. Now, in terms of detail retrieval, actually, these are okay. I mean, it's quite clear lah. I can pick up some of the nuances, in fact most of the nuances, but you know, it's not going to be like a detail monster kind of thing. So yeah, enough detail for you to enjoy your music. Okay, and as I mentioned, this is a pretty resolving IEM for this price point at $30 US. Okay, right, so that's for the technicalities of this IEM. Now let's talk about the sound signature, and let me bring up my graph and show you guys. Okay, so this is the graph of the CCA Duo, and as you can see, it's a very nice graph. It's no odd peaks, and overall it looks very close to Harman. Okay, this is a very balanced tuning, and when I listen to this, it sounds natural, right? It's got a balanced note weight, a balanced tone. It's not too dry, not too warm. It's a lot of times, you know, when I listen to IEMs, some sound too dry, some sound a bit too unnatural, but this one, it sounds very natural to me, very natural sounding. Now in terms of the sub bass, as you can see, it's actually quite close to the Harman curve, and it is extended, right? The sub bass is extended, it's warm, a little bit of that warmth there, a bit of that note weight as well, and overall it's not a very intrusive sub bass. At the same time, the rumble is very engaging. Okay, for mid bass, again, you see, I mean, it's a little bit, it slides out, right, and levels off here in the mids. It does bleed into the mids a bit, okay, but yeah, it's got a very nice warm impact, right? A very nice slam as well. It's not very intrusive again, but it gives you a body, you know, it gives your track that body and that slam and that impact that is required in that track to give you that emotional engagement to your track. Okay, so it's not really dry or very boring or anything like that. It's well, I say balanced lah, just nice in terms of the impact. Okay, now in terms of the mids are recessed, but it's not to a point whereby it's veiled, right? It's very clear, right? The resolution is there. The one thing good about this, and one thing I like about this, is the balance of the tone of it. My instruments like the pianos, the violins and all that, they sound correct, they sound natural, and they don't sound like, you know, the pianos is a bit odd or anything like that. They sound very true to life kind of experience. Okay, now in terms of vocals, male vocals and female vocals, they sound very good and natural on this, right? Male vocals, they have that presence there. They don't sound very authoritative, they don't sound overly engaging, but they've got a very nice and natural tone being produced on this IEM. Okay, female vocals as well, it's not, you know, very sparkly, but they've got good energy, good presence, and overall very natural presentation to me. I don't hear any harshness or any sibilance for female vocals, especially. The sparkle is just shy, right? Just a bit shy in terms of sparkle. They're bright as well, not to the brightest, but they're bright. So yeah, overall a very balanced female vocal and very natural sounding female vocal. Okay, now in terms of treble, as you can see, it's very harmonious. The gain to the treble is very natural as well, so that's why female vocals and some male vocals, they sound very natural on this IEM, and the overall energy is also very just nice. It's just nice. Okay, it's not overly engaging, it's not overly energetic, it's not overly intense, you know, so it's just nice in terms of the gain to the pinna. Okay, now the brightness of this is just a little bit shy, but I mean, it's still bright. Okay, it's not the darkest, by the way. There are some other IEMs that are really dark and really recessed in terms of the treble. For this one, it's just nice. Okay, and in terms of the mid treble here, you see a peak. Actually, it's not, it's just a spike, so I don't hear any sibilance on this IEM, and they don't sound shouty at all. So overall, I mean, the mid treble is actually pretty good. Yeah, is non-fatiguing. Okay, now in terms of air, it rolls off quite naturally. Cymbal strikes and my hi-hats, they have got this natural roll off and natural decay, so no complaints with the overall treble itself. In fact, very nice treble. Okay, now that is the sound signature of this CCA Duo. Now I would say this is a very balanced tuning. Truly, it's a very balanced tuning. You can listen to any genre on this and it sounds natural to me. From what I hear, female vocals, male vocals, orchestras, heavy metal, rock. You know, they sound very natural on this. It's not gonna shine on certain. It's not a niche tuning to be exact. Okay, it's not gonna give you a wow factor for the treble, or if you're a treble head, or you're not gonna give you a wow factor for the bass. If you're a bass head, it's just nice. Okay, but I mean, I'm sure if you want more bass, you can EQ it lah. But you know, for me, I don't really EQ. Okay, so yeah, it fits a lot of genres. But then again, you know, if you are going for really analytical and critical listening, then these are not gonna make it lah. But if you were to just casually listen to your music, then this can fit a lot of genre music, and it's just $30 US. Okay, right, so for that, let me give this IEM my star rating, and I will give this CCA Duo 3 stars out of 5 stars. Okay, so a very well balanced IEM. It does perform above its price point, and definitely worth the price at $30 US. Okay, now let's compare it with the Truth Ear Zero. Okay, and this is the Truth Ear Zero here. Now, based on what my ears tell me, right, the Truth Ear Zero, look at the size, right? It's very, very different. Truth Ear Zero is not as resolute as the Duo. Now, Duo is definitely more resolute. The Truth Ear Zero, or the Red, it sounds more musical. It sounds more natural, but it sounds a little bit veiled, right? It sounds that the overall sound is being passed through some sort of like a filter, and it sounds like it's being veiled by something. Maybe it's in a filter or something, I don't know. Okay, but what I hear is that the Duo has got, the sound seems to come directly to my eardrums, and they sound much more clearer to me and less impeded by something. Okay, so yeah, if I were to compare these two in terms of technical performance, I would say the Duo has got that edge over the Red. But in terms of musicality, the Red has got more musicality than the Duo. The Red sounds more analog lah. So that's why Red, I would suggest something more warm. Okay, something more warm to match with the Red. Okay, but overall, I would say in terms of technical performance, the Duo has got better techs as compared to the Red. Okay, but if you want something, you know, more casual sounding, definitely is the Red. Okay, but overall, I would say the price difference, again, this is definitely more worth it lah. This is just $30, and the Red is like $50, so it's like $20 more. Okay, but that's the main difference that I hear from this lah. I mean, other than that, they sound almost similar. Okay, right, so that's the comparison with the Truth Ear Red, and that also concludes my overall review for this CCA Duo. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, please give this video a thumbs up, and also please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. So that's it for now. I hope you guys have a great day ahead, and I'll see you again in my next video. Cheers.